Hi, you're listening to the Chasing Tone podcast. I'm Travis.
I'm Max.
And I'm the tone curtain.
And
Brian.
You're the man behind it. You're not the tone curtain.
I want to be the curtain. The curtain's way more interesting than I am.
But
You don't want to be a tone. You don't want to be a curtain, dude.
you don't want to be the curtain.
Iron curtain. That's all I'm saying. It's a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, come on,
that's
man.
true.
You can-
80s reference. See what I did there? I tried to.
That's not an 80s reference.
Iron curtain? Was it before? Yeah, I guess it was Cold War, right? Yeah, way before that. You guys were alive during the Cold War. You guys know everything. Oh man, I was hashtag.
How about the
wrong.
steel curtain? That was the 70s. Tell me you know what the steel curtain. Tell me you please tell me you know the steel curtain.
I really don't.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Mean Joe Green.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I remember people talking about it.
It was the best defensive line in football.
Wasn't alive yet.
I was wondering
Think about
why,
this.
Neither was I, but
I wonder why MMA wasn't popular back then. You know, there should have been MMA
because
back then.
blatant homosexuality wasn't near as acceptable
People
back
weren't
then as it is now.
accepted.
That's so funny.
If there's any MMA fighters out there, I'm just teasing.
Beat up Travis.
I'm just teasing, dude. That
Email me for his address.
dude, the sad
Hashtag punch
thing
in the
is
face.
the sad thing is like in high school, people would like, you know, if somebody tried to like come fight me, they'd feel bad and they just wouldn't like fight me, even though I'd be ready to fight. And they're just like, I'm not gonna waste my time on you, dude. It's like I weighed 135 pounds in high
Oh,
school.
I knocked you out. Just do it. Who's laughing now, funny man?
No, but I wasn't really a mean kid, though. Probably because I was only 135 pounds and afraid of getting my butt kicked. But, okay, so the show, really big shoe. Okay, so, see, you got that one, right? Yeah, you know that
Shoe,
one?
really big shoe.
Really big shoe. No, nothing? Oh, my gosh.
I'm pretty sure you're trying to do Ed Sullivan.
See, you get it there.
Because I'm a Beatles fan. Anyways. Hashtag right. Nobody say anything. It's punch in the face.
Hashtag Beatles tone.
There's
Exactly. See, there's nothing
You
good to
can't do
say.
that.
There's nothing.
real good songs.
They did. No, I can't argue that. Okay, so this I get a lot of emails to podcast@wampapedals.com, and thank you guys so very much for that. And I welcome them. Please keep them coming. A lot of questions I get multiples of, and quite honestly, that's not a big enough topic for a whole show to be based upon. But there's quite a few topics that we could tie in. One that I really love, though, is, you know, we did the we did the budget thing. Like,
Right.
if you had $300, what's something you could do?
Right.
So let's up the budget a little bit, because, you know, most people that are really into tone have a little bit of money, or understand that there's going to be some money needed to get into some higher end gear.
Right.
So let's say an amplifier, a new amplifier. Well, let's do new and used if we want, but
Sure.
a new amplifier under $1,000.
Yep.
So I did a little research. I know you guys didn't really have a chance to do any research.
Sure.
But so I'd like to hear the things like right off the top of your guys' head, Max.
Oh man, bunch of Fender stuff. I get the DeVille 212, and I think they make one the 410 under $1,000. Those are great amps. Some like bigger brand stuff. I think Vox makes AC15.
Mm-hmm.
My personal favorite amp is the Blues Junior.
Yeah.
I mean, great piece. I mean, it's only 15 watts, but great for small gig, studio,
And
bedroom.
the thing I've said about that amp too, time and time again, is I play one and it sounds good. You know, it sounds all right. You know, it's a good sounding amp. But Max playing his Blues Junior is the perfect example of a perfect fit. Like when he plays that, like I would rather hear you play that than your Super.
Yeah, I love the tone of that, man.
You
And
know,
I put a
it just-
WGS veteran in it too.
Yeah.
It's cool to see.
Yeah, but it's so weird. It's like, for instance, you playing a Vox style amp. You know, you could play that at AC15 and it just fits you. You play that Blues Junior, it just fits you, man. And like, I'm jealous of that. Like, I think it's because you guys have harder attacks and I pick so softly. But yeah, Blues.
I think just different gear gels chemistry wise with people.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
I
you mentioned the Vox stuff. I just if I'm playing more countryish type stuff or whatever you want to call it,
Which, let's
Telecaster
face
type
it,
stuff.
is what you play.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to call country, you know, I mean,
No, I mean you got the. That's the one thing I'll say.
I don't play George Jones or anything like that.
Right, but no, the thing is, you're legit, man.
Unless I'm lucky.
Yeah. No, you're legit, and that's the thing. Like before I started, working here and hanging out with you and everything, I thought I knew a few country licks, and then I heard you play, and I was like, okay, that's legit. Like it's like he's playing the same licks, but they sound right, and then obviously your trick bag for country stuff's way deeper than mine.
Yeah, I've got one extra than you do.
But no, man,
I've got 2 licks.
But you know how to do the open string pull off stuff.
Yeah, I do a lot of open
Brad
string
Paisley
stuff.
kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, you can't really downplay your playing too much on that because you're legit when it comes to that style.
Unfortunately, to a fault. Because like
when we were playing,
like we were doing something blues, and you're like, dude, that's country. And I'm like, that's my blues. I can't help. I keep bending up to the major.
Yeah, and you can't do for every blues song.
Yeah,
that's your big one. But
Max is like, oh,
yeah, you're not a country fan at all, are you?
I tried to get into country, and I tried to do country things like getting drunk and cowboy boots and hats. Actually, I won't wear a cowboy hat. This
You can't trust anybody in a cowboy hat.
What are they hiding under there? Really?
Exactly.
But I tried to do all that stuff. I went to
normally
Nashville.
just balding hair, but
I've hung out with really cool country cats. I can't do it. I don't think I'm smart enough. Or maybe I'm too smart.
I knew that was coming.
I don't really know what the story is here.
Hey, you remember that time we had a big base of customers that played country?
Yeah, that's okay. I'm hashtag wrong anyway, right? So what doesn't matter here? Actually, I'm technical support at Wampler. I actually get people email me. They're like, "Are you sure you're right? I thought you were hashtag." I'm like, "Oh, of course I'm right."
All your credibility has been shot.
It really is. Are you sure? Let me talk to Travis.
Hey, if you really want to hate country music, come watch the country band I'm playing with on Saturday.
I just watched Toby Keith concert.
Oh, so that's a big to do. That's a big to do.
Yeah, here in Indy.
Big shocker. Toby Keith had a few drinks before his show. I don't know the guy personally, but the image that he likes to project, I don't find that as too far off from any stretch of imagination, right? I mean,
right.
I mean,
if you're going to a Toby Keith show, you're not going because it's like outstanding musicianship. Not that the guys aren't great.
They're unbelievable.
They are really good musicians, and I know a lot of those guys. I'm just saying that. I mean, Toby Keith's music is kind of about the party.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's not really selling music. He's selling a party and an atmosphere.
Right.
Granted, the music attributes to that.
Right.
But yeah, in Indianapolis, he played at what's it called now? Klipsch? Is that what it's called?
They change it every 6 months.
It's always Deer Creek to me. But,
right.
He played there.
That's what it used to be called when you were a kid.
When you were a kid, Deer Creek. Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
That's where I saw David Lee Roth in the 80s.
Who?
He used to sing for Van Halen, which was a big band back then. Yeah.
But I guess he got so
and
tanked.
Cinderella.
Who?
I saw Cinderella. But
I was like, David Lee Roth sang for Cinderella? I was like, what? But I was like, I didn't know this. But I guess he got so tanked, man, that like he was singing the same verse 3 times and like slurring and it's so bad to where the promoter of the show, Live Nation, which is a huge promoter, but I guess a lot of people are coming at them saying we want our money back.
Yeah, if I go to a Toby Keith show, I'm there for the party, man.
Yeah.
There's always that one super drunk guy at the party. He just happened to be that guy that night. It's like at every party you see that one guy like, man, that guy's tanked. He was.
That night?
He was that guy.
Toby Keith.
He just happened to be that
guy. Yeah, that was Toby.
I don't know. I would have loved to have been on stage with him, like playing guitar and just been like, this is the greatest concert I've ever played.
Keep pushing back.
Because you could have been like, I'm going to play left-handed now. And no.
Yeah.
Go home, Toby, you're drunk.
Oh, man.
That one got him.
He started bright red from laughing.
Oh,
if you guys are listening to these podcasts, just want to let you know that they are up on YouTube. So you can, if you want to see Brian's lovely face when he's cracking up, you can check those out.
I actually had one guy comment on the YouTube. He said he always listened to the podcast and goes, Max sounds like he should be bald. I don't know what that means.
I had another guy email in, and he said he's from Australia. He's like, really love the podcast. It took me about the first 15 minutes of the first one to realize Max wasn't speaking another language.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah. I got to give you props, though. You've really kind of started sitting closer to the microphone,
I do,
which helps.
yeah. I project a little more into the microphone.
Yeah. It used to be the same way when he would sing. I'd be like, dude, no one can hear you. He's like, but I hear myself.
I don't care about
That
it.
sounds great. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay.
So, the
But
$1,000
actually,
amps.
let's get off track.
Sure.
We'll come back. I'm going to make a note, though, to remember to come back to that, because we're not done with that.
With Toby Keith?
No, concerts.
Oh, okay.
Concerts. What's the best guitar-related concert you've ever been to?
I got a weird one, man. I went to see Steve Miller probably 4 or 5 years ago, and for a guy that just loves guitar gear and gear in general, he was changing guitars and amps every song. His tech was out after every song, handing off a new guitar. It's like, those are awesome.
So you were more like into the fact that he was playing different guitars than the fact that he was a good player, because he's a great
He's
player.
a killer player, especially live. It was actually really good.
And he's into gear, too. He used some of our stuff.
Yeah. I another company, man, that I can't say enough great things about is Grosh Guitars, and I know that he works with them too, because they've told me. But a cool thing that you might want to check out on YouTube, it's a shop in St. Louis, I think, called Killer Vintage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yep.
I guess Steve went there. Listen to me like I know him, Steve. You know my buddy Steve. But no, I guess Steve Miller went there and hung out a little after hours, and they rolled film. And he was doing this like real swampy, bluesy version of Big Old Jet Airliner.
That's
And it's like, I mean, you got to check it out. It's like, it'll change your whole outlook on it. But so no, that's cool. So you're more into the fact that it was gear related more than guitar
I'm a
related.
gear nut, so I was like, that's awesome.
His guitar player, Kenny Lee Lewis, I think is his name. He's
killer
killer too, man.
Yeah.
He's
Real
unreal.
good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, great player. So that's a good one. Brian,
My favorite concert? Is that what we're talking about?
guitar related.
Guitar-related concert. Well, I was going to say Katy Perry, so that's out. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Now watch, we're gonna get an email from the guitar player
That's
for
a
Katy
joke.
Perry, and it's probably the thing is like a lot of those guys are using our stuff now too, which
Yeah,
is great.
there's a rap. What's the rap artist who his
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, his guitar player
Yeah.
came over, to my house and was playing some.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And so I was like, dude,
There's guitar in that?
that's what I said. I said, I don't mean to be offensive, but where's the guitar at? And he's like, you'd be surprised. There's just little things here and there.
Actually,
He
I
said,
will
but-
say one thing. Like, I'm not real familiar with Jay-Z's stuff, but I mean, I've heard it more than the stuff that's just on the radio. I got some buddies that are into it. But yeah, he's one of the cats that actually does use guitar. You know what I mean?
He said he's really into like the musicianship sort of thing.
Yeah, he is.
Which you wouldn't think like a rap guy would be that big a deal to him.
Well,
but-
the thing too is like, I don't know if you guys ever watched the Bill Maher show. You know what I mean? But like Bill Maher had Jay-Z on one time, and he actually presented him with this book, and he's like, "Hey, I want to give you this book." And the book, I mean, it was a huge thing. It had to be, not huge, but like 300 or 400 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
And then he basically gave it to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z's like, "What's this?" And he starts opening it. He's like, "These are all my songs." So it's like the guy has like 300-400 songs that he's written, whether or not they've all been released. But that guy is like really into writing and poetry. So he's a little bit deeper, I think, than a lot of the rap guys. But no, there's and guitar's coming back in pop music.
Man, I hope so. Oh my god,
It is, man. I mean, look at all the Pharrell stuff.
Yeah.
What's that guy? Americo? I forget the guy's name, but he's using the Pinnacle.
Who?
Pharrell's guitar player.
Really?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. No, not for real.
Oh, that makes me so
Pharrell.
happy.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, you're proud of that, dude. Terrible.
Hashtag happy.
Oh no! Actually, the thing is like, it was pretty good. I got to give you that. That was pretty good.
No, it wasn't good.
Okay,
It
so
just kissed
my
butt.
favorite concert,
Yeah, your favorite guitar-related
Okay.
concert.
Like I was saying, I was at Deer Creek, which is well, it was the big facility here. I saw Cinderella, David Lee Roth,
Yes.
right after he got out of Van Halen, and
Oh, so it's just solo stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
and I don't remember who else was with him. But anyways, it's another '80s band, and the guitar player was playing Steve Vai stuff, and somehow a friend of mine got us like third row seats or something. His mom
Nice.
worked somewhere where they could get real good seats. And so like his amp was facing at me, and I was just like, oh my gosh! I mean, it sounded
so you could hear like off the stage stuff.
Yes,
Oh.
and it was like so massive and huge, and I was like, oh my gosh! It just sounded great.
Nice.
Just awesome, man. And that was, loved it.
Yeah.
Scorpions. I saw Scorpions. That's my first concert, and I was like 10 or something.
Nice.
And that was cool, but I was like way up the nosebleeds, so that sounded terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's probably besides Brad Paisley.
Yeah,
honestly.
well, I knew that name would come up, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to say like my favorite, it'd be easily sitting at sound check on stage with Paisley.
It's so loud.
Yeah.
Remember that time?
Yeah.
Remember that time I had to use his in-ears?
Dick.
Yeah, true story. I know you guys heard this story 1,000 times. And Brian,
He's never
Brian
offered that to me.
Brian is so jealous, but
Remember that time you guys took me to a Paisley concert?
you weren't even working here yet.
You didn't work here.
You weren't working here yet.
But
But so we go on stage with Brad Paisley during sound check, and we brought him a prototype, which I remember you gave me one, and Brad Paisley decided he wanted 6 of them, so you stole mine and gave to him. But true story, which, I mean, come on, it's Brad Paisley. What am I going to say? But
no.
yeah. And then we gave one to Justin, his utility player, and then like right as soon as we gave it to Justin plugged it in, he's checking it out, right? And then all of a sudden Brad's like, man, that sounds great. Can I get that one? He took it right off his
Give it
board.
here, Justin.
Yeah. But anyway, we're sitting there and he's checking his acoustic guitar, and somebody from his band, I forget who it was, walked by him, or no, somebody from the crew. He walked by and he says, hey, Brad, that guitar, is that the one you just bought from Groon? And he was like, oh, I ain't going to bring that on the road, man. That's a 1936 Martin. I was like, well, what are you playing there? He's like, oh, this is just a 1952 Martin. And I just laughed, and I did like a mockery kind of face, and Eric was like, oh, it's just a 1952 Martin. and I was like, oh, I can't believe I just did that out loud, you know? And then he was like, yeah, but you got to hear it. So I'm like, okay, cool, thinking I'll hear it at the show. And he's like, no, come here. And it's like got like this, like, you know, the feedback buster in it. I'm like, I'm not going to hear it. So I get closer to kind of like, because it's an awkward situation because it's Brad Paisley.
Right.
And then he takes out his in-ear monitors and he hands them to me and like motions for me to put them in my ears. And I'm like, anybody else, and this would be disgusting, you know? And the first thing that went through my head was,
should I wipe them off first?
yeah. And then you're right. And then the second thing was, okay, when you pull them out of your ears, just wipe your thumbs across them and make sure you didn't leave any of your gunk on it.
I wonder if he did that and then thought, oh, that was a bad idea. Now his junk is going to be
I know. He probably did. Well, I don't know, man.
He's never done that with me. No, he's never been like, listen to my guitar. You know?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you've got to touch his crooks. Haven't you?
That's a guitar, right?
That's a guitar, yes.
I was going to say I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
You've got to touch his guitars.
Yeah, I played guitars. I played the Pink Telecaster.
Then I don't want to hear it.
That's
You've
all right.
played his guitars.
It's not a Whitfield, but I mean.
Yeah, it's not like mine.
By the way, Charles, still wait on that
I don't
Stratocaster.
have Whitfields with you guys.
You can't be part of the Whitfield Club.
I want a Whitfield.
We started a Facebook group called
But
Whitfield Lovers.
He only makes Telemacasters.
No, he'll make Stratocaster.
Will he?
Yeah.
I know. I've seen 2 of them, right? We've seen 2.
He's done told me he'd make me one.
He done told me. He done told me.
You have been in Indiana too long, my friend.
I've been hanging around you guys too much. English is starting to slide. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, so my favorite concert, and you know, I'm a big time blues fan, so I've seen, I mean, you name it, man. All the guys, I mean, what, Buddy Guy, B.B. King,
Sure.
Kenny Wayne, Fabulous Thunderbirds. But one of my favorites, and this actually isn't the favorite, but it was Eric Clapton when Derek Trucks and Doyle Bramall played with him. And we drove to Davenport, Iowa. This blows my mind. We could have bought a seat, and I don't remember the exact figures, but I'm not far off here. We could have bought like a nosebleed seat in Indiana for like $150, or Davenport, Iowa for $100. We got 7th row center.
Huh.
So we made the trip, right?
Sure.
But it was a good show, but I mean, it just wasn't as really explosive. And then I've seen the Derek Trucks Band, blew me away. And, of course, I've seen the Allman Brothers several times with Derek and Warren. But I honestly got to say, the one that hit me the hardest was when Jack Pearson and Warren Haynes, I think it was Jack and Warren playing in the Allman Brothers. That show, it would have been like 98, 97. That would have been
amazing.
Oh, man, yeah that show was like, and I was in the lawn, but I mean, it's in the 90s, and grunge rock was huge, so It's not like the Allman Brothers were selling every place out. So I was fortunate enough to where I sweet-talked my way up into the what they call it, the pavilion, and man, I was just blown away. I mean,
Jackson, man, though.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he gets a lot of credit, but he still doesn't get enough.
Right.
You know, but that was probably my favorite show. My second favorite would probably be there's a guy, he actually teaches at Berkeley, and his name's Julian Casper. And he's just a guy that approached the instrument like if Hendrix and Jeff Beck had a love child. You know what I mean? So it's right up my alley, but he approaches the instrument completely different than anyone I'd ever seen. And the guy is the biggest tone nerd you'll ever meet in your life. So he used to come to Indy with a band, dynamite band called the Bruce Katz Band. And Bruce actually plays for Greg Allman now, and he's a keyboard player. So, but that was probably my biggest show. My favorite one is the Jack Pearson with the Allman Brothers. Just blew my mind, man. So it's so funny. You got, who'd you say again?
I said Steve Miller.
Steve Miller, yeah. So it's kind of like classic rock kind of thing, And I got the blues thing, and you got the country and the hairband thing going.
I can't help it. That's where I came from.
Yeah. That's where I done doing.
That's where I came.
I fix trees. You got some dips. You dips it. You get you a beer, crack it, cold one, crack it, dips it.
Maybe that's why I'm not good at country. I
Earl
Dibbles.
Yeah, Earl Dibbles
Jr.
You know what you need to do? You want to know how you practice getting in the country? You get a bar of soap and a pocket knife, and you start whittling, and then you move up to twigs, then branches, then start fixing trees. Then you start fixing trees. It's full fledged.
I need a chainsaw.
You do need.
I mean, you're halfway there. You get drunk. So.
Yeah.
I'm sure getting drunk with a chainsaw isn't a good idea.
No.
And I'm accident prone. So I'd probably destroy something.
Only when you're driving are you accident prone.
Easy. Only with your mailbox.
Only with my mailbox. And then I will get. I don't know if we've said this on the podcast. Probably have, but Max has got the worst luck, man. He's driving 60 miles an hour on this road called 465, and it's a
loop around Indianapolis.
It's a loop around Indianapolis, 3-lane, 60-mile-an-hour traffic. I mean, it's a huge, busy road. It's the road in Indianapolis, and sure enough, he's driving in the middle lane, going the speed limit. Underneath the overpass is a car parked. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but there's a car parked in the middle lane with its lights off at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Max doesn't see it because it's in the shadow of underneath an overpass, and obviously no lights. Crashes into it at 60 miles an hour.
Wow.
Lucky to be alive.
My gosh, man.
Shove the engine right in the passenger seat.
Yeah, man.
Killed that supercharged Mustang.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's another crash you had. And then on the way to a gig when we were doing acoustic Monday nights, you crashed.
Yep, guy was texting.
Yeah, guy was texting. Yeah. Yeah, so you're pretty. And then another time, we almost wrecked, but.
Dude, I've almost wrecked you a bunch, though.
Yeah, I know. Am I just bad luck, or do you always drive that bad?
No, let's talk about when you're driving.
Name one example.
Median.
Okay, name 2 examples.
Curb.
All right. I drove up on the median, a concrete median. Okay, anyway, back to the amps under $1,000. Okay, look at this. We're right. We are going to get one subject is going to take us a whole episode.
That's because we're going to have to stop calling this chasing tone and just be like chasing the conversation.
Yeah, chasing the conversation away. Chasing tone away.
Budget amps.
So budget amps. I compiled a list. Okay, so you guys already said. Of course I would. The AC-15. Yeah. You said the Fender stuff. You said the Fender pawn shop stuff too. Really cool.
Yeah. Before the show, we're talking just very briefly. Fender pawn shop stuff. They have some killer cool stuff. It's like $300 to $500. I mean, really,
$3,500.
$300 to $500.
$3,500.
$3,500.
Punch you in the face after this.
Hey, I lobbied. Max has been in with Wampler Pedals now for 1 year and 2 days, and yeah, right?
I'm not surprised he made it this long. Oh,
Yeah.
came out loud.
But the thing is here he is say he's gonna punch me in the face. And what did I right before we started this podcast, what did I just ask the bosses for you for your celebration?
If you tell me a Whitfield, I'll give you a big old hug.
It's a pizza party.
That's
Why you gotta
awesome.
try to come on, man? A pizza party.
Pizza party, yeah, and he successfully got me a pizza party.
I did get you a pizza party.
I am thankful for
You
that.
say you're gonna punch me in the face, and then the good
As a friend.
But okay, fair enough. Okay, so the amps that you go ahead. Have you gone yet for the $1,000 amps?
no, you were just
No,
Okay.
he kinda
you were
dominated
do
going
your
off
thing.
topic.
Yeah, damn it.
Okay, like I have a Black Star I like.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good for rocky type stuff.
Even the clean tone sounds good on it though.
Yeah, it's not bad. If I would make one suggestion to Black Star, that would be immediately stop any particle board on an amp. And
Especially the baffle.
yes, please.
Especially the baffle.
Please, I
board.
beg you, because through a Marshall 412 cabinet, it's amazing.
Even through the 112.
Through the 112 cabinets that we have, which are custom built, they're pine, and it's awesome. It's just amazing, great amp. So, I would say probably, if I had to do it over again, I probably would get ahead.
Yeah.
But the combo is really pretty good too.
But it weighs a metric ton.
It's huge, yeah, and great amp for the money. Fender Blues DeVille or Blues Deluxe, like those quite a bit. AC-15, big fan of.
And of course, your favorite. I'll say it in case you forget it. The Classic 30.
No, the Classic 30 is a great amp for the money.
Yeah.
Great amp.
The two that stick out to me that I always go to is number one, the DRRI, Deluxe Reverb Reissue.
sure.
You know,
That's good.
That's the one, man, that this kind of takes it out of the $1,000 range because I think they're like $999, but throw a new speaker in that thing,
Yeah.
you know? And, I mean, it sounds great the way it is, don't get me wrong. And then, you know...
Change the bypass caps too.
Sure, but...
Yeah, the bike pass.
Yeah, true bypass caps.
No, not that. No. I'm sorry, I said bypass. Coupling caps. Sorry, technical guys. I meant coupling caps.
No single caps. Only
Now you're going to
couples.
get emails saying, you don't know anything about
You
amps.
stupid.
You're stupid. Stay to pedals.
Hashtag wrong.
Hashtag wrong. And then I really like the Egnator stuff, man.
Those are cool.
You know, I had the, was it the Tweaker or the Rebel 20? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember what it was, but one of my biggest regrets, I bought it used and I took it home and I was like, man, it sounds great. And then I turned it up and it just sounded okay. So I wind up taking it back to the guy, and the guy was, you know, it was Dave at Six Strings Down.
Yep.
He was completely cool with it. He's like, I understand, man. If it's not for you, you know, let's see if we can find you something else, whatever. And then somebody came in and bought it, and he came back the next day. He's like, hey, Dave, you know, it's got a power tube out. I was like, it's not a... And then so Dave, you know, fixed the power, gave him a new power tube. And, dude, he started cranking it up right there in the store after he'd already bought it, and it just sounded unbelievable. I was like, damn it. Why didn't I, you know? Oh, well. But so those are my two picks is for the cleaner stuff, you know, the Deluxe Reverb, and for the dirtier stuff, I really like the Egnator
And there's really, I mean, there's a lot of pretty good amps that are under $1,000 out now.
Yeah.
I think Orange has some out, right?
The Vox Night Train in that?
Vox has some out, yep.
And
Marshall has some out, I think.
yeah, the Orange thing, good call there, dude, because they have like the...
Tiny Terror?
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you, the Tiny
Tiny
Terror.
Terror, yep.
But also, I think a lot of stuff like the all-tube, like heavier amps tend to be a little bit more expensive, like the Diesels and the Bogners.
Well, yeah, there's so
But-
much more going on in those.
Right.
Yeah.
But the Jim Root version of the Tiny Terror by Orange is mega. It sounds huge, man, and it looks like a little lunchbox. It sounds great. So, and granted, you know me, I don't know much about that style, but you know, it seems to do that. And I've had other people that are into that kind of confirm that. So that's really all I can think about there, man. You know, that's talking about speakers a little bit. We only have a few minutes, but I kind of hinted at changing speakers.
Yeah.
And you had an interesting story earlier about breaking in a speaker, and is there any validity to that? I think there is. I
definitely.
I don't think it's a myth at all.
I know, like WGS, for example, Warehouse, they actually break in each speaker.
That's
and
cool.
they have a machine that... I
Okay.
can't... I got to be careful. There's a very specific way they do it that has been proven to
Gotcha.
break it in the best.
Okay.
And that's the way they do it. It's not a machine that does it, but it's a method of
Procedure.
doing it. Yeah.
There you go.
So,
But you have a friend that used to work for Weber Speakers.
Yeah, absolutely. He used to play, turn his amps up 3/4 of the way up, and then play at a CD player for 24 hours, and that just stretch the fibers in the speaker enough for it to break in.
the best thing to do is take a guitar speaker and just play a bunch of bass music through it. Just, Yeah.
Now, what was that one speaker? I really should have done research before this.
Probably.
Helotone, is that what it's called? Something like that?
Sounds right.
You know what I'm talking about? But basically, I think
like Hello Kitty?
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
But there's something like that, but they actually break in their speakers and before they sell them.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also heard people doing that exact same thing with acoustic guitars.
Oh, really?
And
Play a CD player through it for 24 hours?
Yeah, yeah. No, putting it in front of a speaker column that is playing.
So the wood's vibrating?
Yeah, so the wood vibrates, and they'll do that for like a week.
I'd have to ask Frank Falbo about that.
That'd be good, man. Yeah, dude, I played one of his. I don't want to lump it into a category because his bracing design and his bridge design is innovative, and it's so awesome because nobody's doing anything.
Well, the guy is stupid bright.
Yeah,
I mean, he's to begin with.
Yeah, stupid bright.
Stupid. Okay, wicked bright, awesomely bright.
Wicked. You gotta say wicked.
Wicked
bright. Right?
What did I do?
I'm trying to be one of the kids.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's you're a nut, dude. But I've heard, that'd be a good thing to do. But I played one of his smaller body guitars. What did Martin calls them?
The OM series.
OM series or something. I doubt. I know Frank doesn't call his that, but it was a smaller body parlor.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Clapton parlor.
Yeah. Something like that. But it was a beautiful guitar. But yeah. So I know people will break in guitars that way. But we ought to get Frank on the show, man.
We should.
Yeah. Do you call a podcast a show? Is it a show or the cast?
It's a really big show.
Really big show.
I don't know.
That's going back to the Ed Sullivan, Max.
What was it like watching the Beatles when they first came out? Ed Sullivan?
Well, in black and white, it was crazy.
Turn it up.
I actually had a black and white TV when I was a kid.
So did
it was
we,
about
man.
that big.
Dude, I remember this. Do you remember the cable box that had like 3 rows of buttons and then the one rotary switch?
Yep.
Do you remember this?
I don't.
I used to actually be the remote control.
Do you remember when satellite dishes were about 12 feet tall?
Yeah.
I do.
There's one.
And you could like never find a channel. You had to like know rocket science.
Dude, there's one in Monrovia that says 13 miles from nowhere with a big happy face on it. Yeah, it does because we were looking at a house out there, but because that's totally related to tone.
Exactly.
Here, but so if you guys have any any suggestions on how to break in a speaker or break in an acoustic guitar, or have any other ideas,
or what your best $1,000 amp is.
Exactly. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas or suggestions of an amp under $1,000, we'd love to hear them. Shoot us an email at podcast@wamplerpedals.com. Also, please check out our social media outlets for both Wampler Pedals and also the Chasing Tone podcast. Am I leaving anything out, boss?
Nope, I think it's it.
All right, cool. So, hope to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Travis.
I'm Max.
And Brian.
Tone Curtain.